Hi there, Tyler Douthit coming at you live here on this Thursday morning, right now about 8:15 Central Time. I'll start with a talk about myself, and I want this to be a lot of Q&A, so please do come in. Any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Hey there, muscles and mindset. Full Q&A here today. I'll talk about myself, so any kind of questions come up to play, so please chime in at any time with any questions or comments you might have. My name is Tyler Douthit. I'm an entrepreneur, building a personal brand as well, documenting that journey. I'm a large seller of earbuds on Amazon and directly to schools. I sell probably over 10,000 earbuds a day, generally speaking. Good margins, good repeat customer rate. I sell probably about 80% of that, 8 out of 10 sales, or 8 out of 10 dollars, so revenue through Amazon Prime. I'm big on there under TFD Supplies. The other part directly on my website, tfdsupplies.com, to schools as the largest customer base, as well as through POs that schools and stuff send in. So as I go here, everybody watching, I want to hear some questions and answers. Please, anything about me, anything about e-commerce, selling on eBay, selling on Amazon, my opinions on any particular topic, I'll be happy to give them. So please chime in. I will answer everyone as long as it goes here in the order they come in on the screen. So like I said, I sell earbuds on eBay a little bit, mostly on Amazon. Sell quite a few on there, and to the own website. A lot of repeat business. Sales this year are going to be about double what they were last year. Probably about 1.1 million in revenue projected for this year so far, which is about double what last year was. I think I could probably double that again into 2018 next year as repeat customers and customers come in. So buy and sell a lot. Also documenting my journey along the way, daily vlog, the TD grind, which I post on. Sorry about that, connection dropped out for a second there. Which I document along the way, the TD grind, which I post on all the networks every day, and also a series of car talks I post. How did I get into earbud sales? Some of that was trial and error. At my olds, I've worked at my parents' family business for about 11 years. I am an entrepreneur for about 11 years, and from there, I got pretty good at sourcing things from different factories overseas, and then through trial and error, I buy some things, sell them on eBay, sell them on Amazon, and then kind of on a whim, I tried earbuds, and they just kind of took off. And then as time grows, the volume has gone up, which has helped with the pricing. I get 12 different color options for better supply there, and just growing. Then I went on to Amazon, which helped. Then Amazon Prime, and things just exploded in sales as soon as I did that, like instantaneously. And as you get bigger on there, you do better as you go, because you get more feedback, more ratings, more sales volume, which you might or might not know. But the better your feedback, the better your ratings, the more sales you sell, they push you higher to the top on the listing. So it's rewarding, like when you play basketball in grade school, you play make it, take it. You score, you get to shoot again. The highest performing sellers rank higher. It's unfair to new sellers. It's just the way the system's designed. It's harder to break in. And the better you are, the more established, the better you rank, just the way it goes. But that's when things really went. And then I've been siphoning customers off slowly, and to push directly marketing to schools to try to get those sales going there. And that's been going really, really well too. Am I an entrepreneur? Yes. Elijah, how did you start? I think is the most important question. As long as I can remember, I've been an entrepreneur. I started a gift wrapping business when I was a kid for my family, 3 people, not the biggest market there. I did grass cutting, I did car cleaning, car detailing. When I was in high school, that was the height of the whole Napster thing. I would illegally, I suppose, burn CDs for people off Napster and sell them for a profit. There's a good markup on that one. But I decided, my dad actually kind of said, you're not doing this anymore because this is not legal to do. So I stopped doing that. But I've always been interested in building and growing businesses as long as I can remember. And then just as time went by, I tried ideas that didn't work out. I have my degree in computer science, and that I always kind of thought that would be the backbone of what I would do, write some program, some app, some website that would scale and sell $10 a month subscriptions, and you get 1 million members, and you're making $10 million a month. Never came together that way. Ended up in physical sales of products for earbuds, but you got to go where what works, and I've executed fairly well once that ball got rolling, and that's kind of what my role has been. Hi there, Easton. So please, any further questions, I'll answer them as they come in. I got maybe another 10 or 15 minutes. My daughter is at her speech therapy right now, so that's some time, a little bit of dead time here. And so I sell I'll talk myself till I see another question. It's a home-based business. I sell a lot of my finished basement. One of my wife's brothers works for me, and he's right now over there packing up because we get stuff in bulk from the factories overseas, kind of repack, reship out to the Amazon warehouses. At any given time, have about 4,500 units at the Amazon warehouses in USA as well as in Canada, which puts us at about 5,000 units in Canada. Do you plan to expand? I do. A lot of that is inventory scaling from my perspective, because I deal in the bulk market of earbuds, which is an important distinction. People that might want one pair for themselves I'm not where they would go to. But if you're a school, a museum, a tour company that might need 1,000 earbuds or 5,000 earbuds, that's where you go. And the thing about the scaling is, it takes money to scale, and people want to buy something, and if someone's going to want to buy, say, City of New York, might want to buy 10,000 earbuds. If you can't supply 10,000, they're going to go somewhere else. But if you can't supply it, they can get it from you. But to have 10,000 earbuds in stock takes a while to get there, and that's the constantly growing and expanding. But for the expanding, I've expanded it. There's 12 color options I have, bulk packaged and individually bagged. I have the ones with the mics. Those don't sell nearly as well, but they're there based on consumer demand and asking about it. And thought about Europe, but a lot of paperwork, and I was pushing into Europe, the Amazon over there, but then realized for the paperwork it was better to maximize in the USA first before going over there, just because shipping costs were going to drain the profits that get overseas, versus dirt cheap to get to the US and still cheap to get to Canada. How is your earbud company? Doing good. Sales this year probably going to top about 1.1 million. Last year was about 600,000, so it's going to be it could be more. When I checked the actual sales at the end of July, apples to apples, it was about 114% increase over last year. So quite a few, and I think I could probably keep pushing to schools as well as repeat customers. There's 90,000 schools in the country. I probably got 500 of them, so the market is vast. And I think if I keep pushing, and the repeat customers that buy once or twice a year, that I could easily double sales again in 2018, and just going to scale up from there. So please, any further questions, I'm happy to answer them. I got, let's see, does it show the time on here on the screen? Let's see, notifications popping up, sorry guys. It doesn't say there. Let's see, on the Fitbit here, I got about 10 more minutes, so please, any further questions, I'd be happy to answer. Otherwise, I can just ramble on my own. I'm doing the personal brand, like I said. So if you're following, this is an ask here. Please consider following me on Snapchat, Tyler Douthit, the number 1. Tyler Douthit, the number 1. I post the daily stuff as we go. I appreciate that. If you're looking to follow, please consider following on Snapchat. By far the hardest brand to grow, because everything else you can advertise and market to in much easier ways. It's hard to grow on Snapchat. It's all searching by name. So please consider following me on Snapchat, Tyler Douthit, just like you see on the screen, my name, all one word, and the number 1 at the end. Tyler Douthit, the number 1. Anyway, thank you for following. So please, any further questions, I'll be happy to answer. I'm happy to answer. And until I see any more questions, I'll just kind of ramble on myself here. By the way, thank you for saying I'm a smart guy. I got about 35,000 followers, give or take, across all the networks combined. Facebook's the biggest, Twitter and Instagram both about the same, around 8,000 or so. Snapchat falling way behind. LinkedIn pretty high connections on there as well. Kind of push it. 35,000 is a lot to some. To others, it's minuscule. And I guess it just depends on the group. But I mean, I do get responses. I can do a live chat here. People come in. Live chat, thinking about my work stuff. I can do an Instagram live, people to come in and watch. So it is kind of how it goes. So please, any further questions, if you're an entrepreneur or thinking about becoming one, e-commerce, selling on your own site, selling on eBay, selling on Amazon, what else, any kind of personal finance questions. I'm pretty good at money in general. There's one. What do you think is the most important most important thing to work on, as an entrepreneur? The most important thing to work on as an entrepreneur is being aware of what you're good at and what you're not good at, and trying to harness and use what you're good at. Because most people are good at some things and not good at lots of other things. And I think it's much more efficient to grow a business if you look at what you're good at and really, really push on that, and either hire or work around or partner or ignore things you're not good at. And there's a big important thing too, because people ask sometimes what the best way to get started is, like what kind of area they should work on. And I think some people say do what you're best at, some people say do what you love. I say you got to find a middle, because some people love golf and really suck at it. Some people are really good at golf and hate it. So trying to find things that if you ever are lucky enough to be really good and really love the same thing, those are the ones that are all stars, like LeBron James. But you got to try to find out what the middle intersection of what you're good at and what you love to do, and from there you know where to go. And that's self-awareness. Gary Vaynerchuk, I follow him if I were you, if you don't already. Gary V, big into that, and I agree. Knowing yourself, what you're good at, what you're not good at. Don't pretend to be something you're not. People, especially now with social media, people will see through it eventually, and you will have burned your future credibility if they ever do. So being aware, like I don't have shots of myself with 8 Lamborghinis and 12 girls in bikinis in front of a mansion or on a yacht, because that's not my real life. I don't really want into that. I do plan to buy a Lamborghini on my 40th birthday. We'll see if that could come true or not by then, but I'm working on it. But that's why I'm real. I work out of my house. I don't have a huge office. I don't have dozens of employees making me $100 million a year. I have one employee that works for me. I did all of it myself until when did I hire Ben? Till May this year, and that was a lot of work. And I think I'm still the hardest worker out of the organization. Well, out of the two of us, right? But I think that's important of owners and entrepreneurs, is that even if I've always got to be working hard, because when you start getting lazy or losing that drive is when the output and the big results start to suffer. And I do all different things than I used to then. Now a lot of it is acquiring customers for the lowest price possible, marketing, branding, a lot of that stuff. I don't do any of the manual labor anymore. He does all the packing and repacking, which took hours and hours off of my plate every day. All right, thank you everybody for coming in here. Any further questions? Let's see, not much longer. Got 5 minutes, so please, I got time for a few more questions. Now is the time to ask a question if you want to know anything. Otherwise, you're just going to hear what comes off the top of my head, which is what a lot of Instagram Live really is. Hey boss, hey Nick M5. So what else we do? Good morning. Let's see, what else about me, my thoughts on stuff right now. Thoughts and prayers out to Harvey in Houston, Texas. That has been nuts there. I would encourage you, if you don't, not only to watch the news, but to look at the Snap Map, where you can look at what's been going on, the unfiltered version of people in Houston, not the news articles and news videos, but what regular people are doing, because they're the ones that are just posting stuff on there and seeing what happens, the rescue. Some people are jumping off, swimming, having fun off rails, off signs. You got elderly people getting rescued. You have families, you got babies, you got the good stories of people using their resources, buildings, stores, warehouses, all these things to help people out. The good, it's always such a bittersweet thing when these horrible things happen that demolish a whole city. You also, while you have the horrible tales of loss of life, which is the worst, you also have the most amazing stories of the human spirit forging together and coming out, and people that will do anything to help others. And those are easily overlooked in the 24/7 news cycle, because they're not as impactful for whatever reason. I would think it'd be the opposite way, but I'm more of an optimist than a pessimist. So any further questions? I only got maybe 1 or 2 more questions. Now's your time. I'd be happy to answer anything I have. For anybody that's joined in, I'll kind of recap. Tyler Douthit, entrepreneur. I own my own business. Under the TFD Supplies brand, sell earbuds on Amazon. I focus selling in bulk, 100 packs essentially, so 100 earbuds at a time. $55. If you go to tfdsupplies.com, you can buy earbuds, 100 pairs for $55. Unbeatable earbud prices, 12 color options, bulk packaged and individually bagged. I got a newspaper article written about me a couple weeks ago from the local paper. Kind of reached out to them. That was helpful. Got a lot of local sales, and also got the Channel 5 affiliate in St. Louis talking to me next week doing a story about the business and me as well. There's a question. Selling books. I'm not sure if you're looking to sell books, or if you're asking if I sell books. And while you clarify that, I don't sell any books. I do the personal brand entirely for free. All it does is cost money and time. It doesn't reward anything financially yet. Eventually, I think it will. I'd like to harness that into anything along the way, because I figure if I'm always true to myself and just document my honest life along the way and my honest ideas, then I can harness that for anything I want to in the future, versus being pigeonholed to anything that I said or didn't say, or over a certain idea or topic. So this is just me. I will keep hustling. Thank you. If anybody ever watches my TD Grind stuff, you'll see that my first post is about 5:15 in the morning. Well, maybe 5:05. It depends on the day. Get up at 4:45, shower, get to work, kind of thing. Entrepreneurial life oftentimes includes early hours, late hours, or a lot of work, or very few breaks. I don't really take any lunch during the day. Hello from Perth, Australia. Hey there, Perth, Australia. Keeping customers happy over a long term. Well, that is so true. Customer satisfaction is, I personally believe it's not customer satisfaction anymore. It is impressing customers, because a satisfied customer, you're only giving them what they expect. An impressed customer, you're giving them more than they expect, and that's what creates brand ambassadors and customer loyalty over the long term, is when you can give them more than what they expect, over-deliver, and impress them. By far a much better route. Not easy to do all the time, not easy to do, but that's something I would suggest you consider if you're in business in any way, or in life in general. Give people more than they expect. You're only gonna get loyalty and hard work from someone else in return, because if you're willing to give them more, they might pay a few dollars. Even if you're not the lowest price, they might pay a few dollars more because of who you are and what you've done for them in the past. A lot of relationship building in business, if you ask me, and not satisfaction, but impressing customers. On that note, I've got to go pick up my daughter's speech therapy here. Thank you for following. Please consider following Tyler Douthit on SoundCloud, on the free podcast, or on iTunes under Tyler Douthit. Also, especially, please consider following me on Snapchat. Tyler Douthit, the number 1. Tyler Douthit, the number 1, just like my name is spelled on the screen with the number 1 at the end. And I hope you will consider following me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you especially if you asked the question. Have a wonderful day, and go out there and get them.